when I first came to BYU, Bill Strong was directing a site housed at Utah State that was Utah Writing Project. It was the only project site in the state, and I went to a lot of his workshops and other kinds of things, and that made me interested in a writing project site and in how it was organized. So I read a book about it and about how it came out of California in the 70s. That actually ended up being a kind of contributing point for us getting a site here at Utah, because it turns out that the academic vice president at the time I applied for Central Utah Writing Project to be organized and housed here was one of the first people to go through the writing project out of California, out of UC Berkeley. And so his experience with it there was a selling point for us to have it here. And that was probably the only reason we were able to get a site at BYU, is because he knew what it was about and knew how it would bless teachers' lives to have here. So I kind of did my own experiences with it. I had never actually experienced a summer institute until after I had to do one myself. I attended parts of them at other sites, but I had never done the whole thing. And so it was kind of a risk-taking, but I'd had enough experience to know that it was worth the risk. So that's why I let Chris badger me into making the application. I think I would say the biggest challenge is teachers wanting to continue to spend some of their summer in this intensive kind of experience. It's not like your traditional professional development, but it is, and so when people are in it, they're I'm losing my words. They're kind of aware of it, that it's not what it was, and they find that time goes by much more quickly. They find that they are engaged the whole time. They are almost always, if not always, surprised by how enjoyable the experience is. But I see the challenge of, especially as teachers after COVID are more and more burned out, I see the challenge is getting people who don't know that it's going to be that kind of an experience to commit to the 3 weeks of SI. And that's the thing that probably worries me the most, is that I recognize teachers are tired, and probably more tired now than they were last year, and I don't know if that will continue. But I worry that teachers' tiredness and their maybe disillusionment with some things in education will encourage them more to say, no, I have to have a total break from it over the summer, when in fact I think they might feel more rejuvenated by spending a few weeks of their summer in this environment with teachers, other teachers who will be an enrichment in their lives. And I guess I would say then the greatest good thing going forward is today we had our reunion day, and I can't say how many teachers said, they were sitting by another teacher and they said, this is what we have. We have this because we had that experience 10 years ago, 8 years ago. They are still friends with the people they went through their site with, their summer with. It creates bonds. And I think that's one of the things that going forward, I always want them to see themselves as writers. And I know some of them write, I think most of them write all the time. One person said she hasn't stopped writing since that summer, and except maybe 5 days, and this has been years. But I think that's great, and I know some of them have published, and I think that's great. I think the fact that they kind of see themselves as writers is a huge thing. But I also think that the community that they build is probably the biggest thing, is that they see themselves as part of a community of teachers who are also writers, and that's the best. That's the best.